President Trump's campaign unanimously rejecting the effort to invalidate the election results in Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Some of the president's supporters now expressing their frustration with the Supreme Court, which now upholds 3 Trump appointees. Here to discuss with us is Newsmax columnist Marc Rudov. He's a branding advisor to CEOs and author of the book, Interbranding, the Cornerstone of Corporate Agility. Marc, great to see you here. Let's talk about SCOTUS. It is 6-3 now with conservatives in the majority. 3 of them are Trump appointed. You have Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Barrett. Why is it you think the Supreme Court decided to pass on this major election lawsuit?
Well, I think this was because John Roberts is a politician and not a justice. He said that Texas didn't have standing. But Texas did have standing. You know, in 2008, Ted Cruz was the Solicitor General of Texas, and he wrote an amicus brief on behalf of 13 states in the D.C. versus Heller case, which was a Second Amendment rights case. And it's interesting that Texas was not D.C., but had standing then. And the reason it didn't have standing now, or the reason that John Roberts said that, is because I believe his wife pressured him not to do it. There was an article that came out in 2012, a couple of months after John Roberts legislated a victory for Obamacare. And in that article, it said that his wife Jane has heavy influence over him. Now, there's a rumor that one of the clerks at SCOTUS overheard John Roberts screaming at the other justices last week, saying, "We're not going to take this case. What do you want, riots? You want riots? And don't give me the Bush versus Gore case from 2000, because there weren't any riots back then." And then he told the new junior justices, "I don't want to hear from you." So only Alito and Thomas said that we should have taken that case. So this is insane. And the courts are becoming part of the legislative branch.
So, yeah, and I just want to clarify with you, Marc, here. Again, you're saying that Justice Roberts, who some say are sort of a secret liberal, although he was appointed by a Republican, that it's the influence of his wife that could be playing into how his decisions are made?
I am saying that. And if you remember last week, or last time when I was on the show, the day after Thanksgiving, I indicated that lots of Republicans are caving to Democrats. And I said that the reason for that is most of them are married to liberal wives who have liberal friends, and there's a lot of social pressure to dump Trump. And I think this pressure is real.
It's a job for life, though, right? He doesn't have to worry about applying for his next job.
He doesn't have to worry, but he has to worry about living in his house. And he has to worry about whether to have wine and cheese parties with friends who no longer want to associate with them. And if Roberts really is worried about Antifa showing up at the doorstep with flares and bombs and the safety of the children at stake, then he's going to pass on it and give this bogus excuse that Texas doesn't have standing when in fact it does. When you violate the U.S. Constitution and you violate your state constitution, if that is not grounds for a court case, I don't know what is. So it's completely ridiculous. And you know, it's interesting. Alan Dershowitz appears on Newsmax all the time, and he laments the cancel culture at Harvard, because if you associate with Trump, you can't teach there, you can't speak there, you can't attend. And he says it's a good thing that he's now independent and not part of a large law firm, because otherwise he'd probably get fired for having supported Trump during the impeachment hearings in the Senate. Well, and the only person he has to answer to now is his wife.
Okay,
now,
very
have you
interesting.
ever heard a woman on TV saying that the only person she has to answer to is her husband? No, you haven't, and you never will.
All right, some very interesting points. Marc, we're running out of time here, but we appreciate you coming on the program. You can check out his column at newsmaxtv.com. Marc Rudov, thank you very much.
Thank you, Emma.